If there's one thing I am not afraid of doing, is admitting when I was wrong. And boy, was I ever wrong about Pokémon Pocket TCG. So let's talk about it. Let's start by talking about some of my pre-launch concerns and thoughts about Pokémon Pocket TCG. The game was first unveiled at a Pokémon Presents on February 27, 2024. And although the star of that Pokémon Presents was clearly Pokémon Legends Z to A, the game they talked the most about during the presentation was Pokémon Pocket TCG. At first, the announcement was a little weird to me because I felt like I was having deja vu because I swore they already had a Pokémon TCG game. Turns out I was actually wrong. They didn't have a TCG game, they had two. And I go a little bit more in depth about these two games in this video right here, but I'll put a link to it on top and at the end of the video in case you want to check it out. So yeah, considering they already had two Pokemon TCG games, this one kind of felt a bit more redundant. But I understand that what makes this game different is that they gave you packs for free, whereas the other TCG games you actually had to go out, buy the physical cards, and redeem one of the codes that were within the booster packs, which meant this game was actually free to play. And free to play for a mobile game is a very scary thing. You know, I am no stranger when it comes to gacha games. Most notably, I've been playing Fire Emblem Heroes since launch, meaning I've been playing almost daily for the past 8 years, and I put in a little over 1,000 hours in Genshin Impact, so yeah, I give you permission to point and laugh. But yeah, that's just to say I understand very well the architecture of these games. They make sure to make you feel very well rewarded at the beginning. This way you feel like you're doing a lot of progress really fast, but then you quickly realize there is a very steep curve in the rewards that come in over time. So if you went and you spent all your resources right away, it's going to take a very long time to get them back. And in most cases, if the game is free to play, they want to make sure that you are not going to be getting every character, you are not going to be getting every weapon. But if you do want every character or every weapon, you're going to have to fork up some cash. And again, the game is free to play, so they need to make their money somehow, so I do understand it from that point of view. All that to say, I felt something slimy afoot with this game. But I also had one more theory about this game. I had a suspicion that Pokemon was trying to use this game to try to phase out the physical Pokemon cards. I didn't think it was going to do it like overnight, of course. This was more of a theory that in the next 5 to 10 years maybe. But if you're more curious on why I thought that in the first place, I go more in depth with my train of thought in this video too, so I won't waste my time explaining myself again. If you're curious, you can go check it out. But now that the game is out, let's talk about what Pokemon Pocket TCG does right. And in my opinion, there's actually quite a few things. The first great thing is the 2 free packs a day. Although it does feel more like one pack, because a traditional Pokemon TCG booster pack actually has 10 cards usually, but the packs you open in this game actually only have 5 cards, so although it's a little lame, you still get 10 free cards a day. And since you're collecting 10 free cards every single day, the game is shockingly free-to-play friendly. Again, don't get me wrong, it's still a gacha game, so if you're looking for a specific card, it might take you a very long time to find that one card you're chasing for. But please keep in mind, this card is incredibly rare and hard to pull. However, this card is a lot more common than the other one, and they still do the exact same thing in game. So yeah, I know it's a lot more fun and flashy to have all these pretty full art cards or secret rares, but they don't make your deck more useful. And if you're looking for the just plain EX cards, you can even wishlist cards and you'll find them easier when they come up in your Wonder Pick. To which the way Wonder Pick works is that the Pokemon TCG game will select random players from around the world and will show you what cards they got within the 5 cards they pulled. And let's say there's a card they pulled that you really want, you have a 1 in 5 chance of actually just selecting their card in the Wonder Pick. And if you have friends on the game, you get to see when your friends pick cards, and if they get something really good, you have a chance to get it too. Meaning if you're looking for specific cards to build your deck, if you play the game responsibly, meaning you just don't throw away all your currency right away, you have plenty of opportunity to build a very good deck. Like one of the cards I was kind of chasing for just because I like the way it looked is this Full Art Arcanine, and it actually just appeared in my Wonder Pick, so I gave it a go and lo and behold, I picked it. So yeah, of course as a free-to-play player, you might not be able to get every single card you want, but trust me when I say, you'll be able to get plenty of cards to make very strong decks with, even as a free-to-play player. And another thing I'm very pleasantly surprised with is how tactile it feels to open packs, even though they're just digital cards. And when it comes to playing people online, they also changed the rules of the game. In the traditional game, you have 60 cards in your deck, and in this game you only have 20. meaning games go a lot faster. The traditional game takes about 25 minutes to go through a battle, where this game you can blast through it in around 10 to 15 minutes I'd say, sometimes even shorter, which really translates well as a mobile game. And because of the simplified nature of the game, it makes it a super good entry point for players that just don't know how to play. Before Pokemon Pocket TCG, I had no idea how to play the game. I had plenty of Pokemon cards from when I was younger, but I didn't know how to use them. But because of this game, me and another one of my friends learned how to play the game, and now we hop on a call almost every single night and we play a couple of rounds, and it's so much fun. And I even feel like the community around this game is really good as well. Because of how easy it is to just match with players and play games, I've seen even tournaments online happen already. And these aren't like official Pokemon tournaments, these are just community-driven events. But by all means, like anything else, the game is not perfect. For example, there's no like end game content, I guess you could say, meaning there's just not that many game modes to play. So after you pull your cards and you play a couple of rounds online, that's kind of all the game has to offer. So it would be really nice to see Pokemon Pocket TCG add more, like maybe missions for example, because the missions right now are just like, open a pack, open 2 packs per day, pick a wonder pick. They're nothing really that complicated or hard to do, and it's things you're gonna do anyways if you log in. For example, you could argue that these community tournaments can be the endgame content, but my counter argument to that would be that, it's probably Pokemon Pocket TCG that should be doing the heavy lifting to keep people interested in this game and not the community itself. And also, the game does have some balancing issues, but I also don't feel like it's that much of a big deal. Because yeah, it might be lame to deal with, but I think it's just because the game is so new and there's not that many cards to, make decks with. But over time, as they add new cards, I feel like things are probably going to start balancing out. For instance, my 2 favorite types in Pokemon are Dark and Electric. If I look at the Dark type cards that are available in the game, there aren't very many good decks I can even build with it. But if I look at the Electric type Pokemon, the roster is stacked, so clearly I'm gonna build an Electric deck. So yeah, I do run one of those annoying Pikachu EX decks, but until I have more options, it's really hard for me not to, you know what I mean? But like I said, I know that's gonna balance out over time. But now let's talk about why I was wrong. But before that, I have a quick message. If this is your first time here, hey, my name's Acadrien and I post weekly Nintendo videos. So if that sounds like something you would enjoy, I would greatly appreciate it if you would simply consider to like and subscribe. And without further ado, let's go right back into the video. But the reason why I was so wrong about Pokemon Pocket TCG is because I was looking at it from the wrong perspective. I viewed this game as though it was going to be replacing the physical cards. However, now that I've played the game, I feel like it's actually the exact opposite. Now I realize this game is supposed to be your gateway into Pokemon cards. The app is free to download, meaning anyone that has a smart device can have it on their phone and open 2 free packs a day. So whether you're an existing Pokemon fan or you're a brand new one, the low point of entry can be appealing for a lot of people. And the brand name of Pokemon is really recognizable as well. But once people pull enough cards, they can start building decks and start learning how to play the TCG game. And even though it's just a light version of the game, again, it's supposed to be a gateway in. And I know in my personal experience, ever since I started playing this game and that I've actually learned how to play the TCG, it actually reinvigorated my interest in the Pokemon cards, like the physical cards. Plus, considering the cards that are in Pokemon Pocket TCG are mostly made out of just recycled art from the physical cards, it means they get to kind of double dip with each illustration. So yeah, I was completely wrong about Pokemon Pocket TCG. This isn't supposed to be a game that's supposed to phase out the physical cards. It's supposed to be used as a funnel to make players be more interested in the physical cards themselves, so they start playing with the real physical cards and in turn, buy more. But now I want to hear from you. Do you play Pokemon Pocket TCG? Let me know down in the comments. And if you do play, my friend code's on screen, so add me. I've been having a lot of good luck lately, so who knows, maybe you can take advantage of my Wonder Pick. But until next time, Wa down.